Okay. Come on, come on, come on. I want to make sure we're live. Let's see. Okay. Hello, everybody. I just want to make sure you're on LinkedIn. You are live. Okay, got it. Okay. We are live, people. Okay. Let me go back to my Zoom screen and talk to you from there. Okay. Hello, everybody. I'm Sudha Jamte, and this is Sudha Live. And I'm actually doing this a little earlier, 3 o'clock, 3 hours earlier than my usual end of the week on Friday. So, gonna miss some of you, but hope you are able to come back and watch the recording right here on LinkedIn, or we'll also have this streaming right now to YouTube. I'm going to be taking questions only on LinkedIn. So, hello, hello. Thank you for joining. And LinkedIn actually shows me number of people. It doesn't say who you are. Okay, I see some of you coming in. I see the numbers. So, say hello, introduce yourself, and let's get started. So, I'm a technology futurist based out of Silicon Valley, and I love you guys for joining me to close out my week and make sense of the craziness that's happening in the AI, especially Gen AI world. And this week I'm going to focus on jobs. But before I get started, some of you are asking about the profile picture I put. It is actually a live fire pit in Fremont, just before our storms were going to get started. And we had a whole bunch of atmospheric river, it was called, and crazy winds, and it's all over. And it went away south towards LA, and then it kind of cleared off, but it cost us the week where, in terms of work and travel and everything else, we were kind of stuck. So one of the things I did notice during that time, because I love data, I was able to see where the storms are, where the flooding is happening. There are IoT sensors everywhere through all our different creeks. So I was able to see what is the level of the water that is raising and stuff like that, which is all on a nice live map. And after it was over, there was increased pollution from the pollens and stuff from the trees being shaken in that high winds, and so we had our pollution level went up again. That is in a map that is also, we can see it live. So one of the things with all these maps and stuff is it's all spatial data, and that is very important to this week's big announcement from Google called Gemini. Before I get to that, my big topic to this week is going to be about jobs. And we all usually I cover jobs, events, various calls and opportunities for research, call for papers, and various different things. And then I put all of this together, all the links that I'm sharing here. I see more of you showing up. So, hello, welcome. Thank you for joining me. I'm so happy, given that this is not my usual time and I'm doing this Sudha Live a bit earlier. I'm so happy that you're able to join me. So, feel free to introduce yourself, do some likes or whatever, so that I know you're here. And as we are talking, if you're working in that area, talk to me about it or ask questions and share. That's what we are here for. And that's the whole idea of this being live, and I'm not just talking to my computer. So thank you for that. Okay. And so every link that I'm going to share here is going to go to the Jamte newsletter. uh, Thank you, Paria, for sending that out. It goes out on Mondays. Jamte newsletter. Everything that I'm sharing here will be there. I will try and put it here on LinkedIn in the chat as I'm talking to you, but every possible link will already be there. Okay, so what about jobs? So I saw an article on LinkedIn just a couple hours back saying, the layoffs are happening and the AI is already like impacting jobs. And there are technologies used by HR. HR is one of the functional areas which is using AI. There are technologies that is being used by HR that includes or involves AI, and the AI is being used in a lot of different aspects of HR in promotions and stuff like that. The other thing is that the belief that AI is automating things, and so that it is replacing jobs, is another theory. I do not believe we are at that stage. I know that there have been a lot of layoffs in from big technology companies, and they're doing it a little bit more quietly instead of making a big statement. So I know so many people around me who've been impacted, but I do not believe AI is replacing the jobs. It's not that particular job can be done by AI, or they're consolidating because they're super smart in automation. I don't think we are at that stage. People like you who are product managers, business leaders, designers in all different job roles need to come together to figure out how to build AI so that it creates the right automation that will create the right ROI. I don't think we are there yet. It is there in terms of general AI, the traditional AI with machine learning and stuff from so many years, right, in manufacturing and so many other industries, but we have not reached that stage where it is replacing our jobs. And so all the layoffs that's happening is, there could be different reasons, but I think a lot of it is to they hired a lot, and they're trying to reduce and create space so they can hire more AI talent. They want more people who are working on AI in responsible AI, who are coding and building LLMs, can do fine tuning LLMs, and as soon as they get to that stage they figure out, oh my god, our data is mess, and we need to get our data to some kind of lineage so that it can actually train the AI to build the models, to the model the AI so that it can create ROI. So there's a lot of data related skill set that they need, data engineering and the like. So they're waking up to that. At least the initial part in big tech is they want to hire a lot of AI machine learning engineers, but there's a lot of other jobs. That's what I'm going to share with you today. And this week is actually the beginning of Chinese New Year, so happy Chinese New Year to my friends who celebrate, and happy Tet, the New Year for Vietnamese friends out there, and my students out there. So let me go to the actual list of jobs that I'm going to share. So the way I'm going to do this is I'm going to share a bunch of jobs. I am not going to share too many events. There's a bunch of events that's happening that you can potentially attend and participate, remote or in person, whatnot. I can't do justice to all of that. I'm going to tell you a little bit about the big launch, which is Gemini, focus on jobs. And what do I have? There's a bunch of calls that I want you to actually be able to participate. So I might call out a few, but not all of them. And then this and a whole bunch of other links, reading links that I share, I'm going to put that in the Jump the newsletter. Deal? Okay. For Let me go back, check on LinkedIn. Okay. Every time somebody comments, it actually, okay, somebody liked my comment. Thank you. Shri Varsha, thank you. So every time somebody comments, I just see the notification go up. It does not I can't just see the thing live directly, so I need to kind of refresh and see it. So bear with me, guys. I might, if I'm not responding. So I have a window where I'm able to see the comments and another one where I'm refreshing. So I will be able to answer your questions, and we can have a good conversation. Okay, so I promised links on jobs. So let me find my glasses so I can get you the real deal. So the first thing is there is a national AI talent pool USA. Let me show you what that means. This is from the US government. Uh, Let me share my screen. Yes, yes, I'm not sharing my screen. I'm aware of that. Give me a minute. Okay, where is that? Okay, so this is from the White House calling for people to build AI, build out the country's AI policy. And they're calling for everybody, right? They're asking for engineers and students and scholars and lawyers and researchers. And here is the link. Okay, so this is ai.gov. Okay, I'm going to stop sharing that. And this week, there was also news from the White House about the AI on AI security. There's a US AI Safety Institute. Let me share that link. And I think this could be related, right? Because they're making progress on taking AI seriously to do something about it. And then they realize that we need a lot of talent pool. So this is thank you, Miriam Vogel, for sharing this. This is they announced they have a new they have an AI security body, right? This is called the US AI Safety Institute, ASI. They have announced their inaugural director, Elizabeth Kelly, and also a CTO, Elham Tabasi. And that was this announcement. So I think it's kind of related that they're taking the AI implementation of AI and AI policy seriously, because of which they have the call for talent. Also, Renee Cummings shared something called Empire AI, which was from the New York governor. So I will put that also in the link. So there's a bunch of stuff that is happening in the policy world, but I'm going to stick to the jobs. There is AI, ML, vision, and language research intern. And I know a lot of students join this and they tell me, you're talking about jobs. Tell us about internships. And so, in the newsletter, we'll have a separate section just for students, right? So this one is in Sony in LA, and they are looking for an AI, ML vision, and language research intern. So one of the fascinating things is earlier we used to get computer vision as a technology that is evolving, and jobs and projects from there. And then we will see NLP and language related stuff. Now it's kind of combining. And one other aha I got this week is when they say AI, ML vision, it's not computer vision anymore, right? Everything is being built using neural networks. So the vision that you're seeing is also a neural network. It was CNN, and now it's some better algorithmic version of that, but it is all neural networks. And language has all become LLMs and the latest generative AI. So that is also a neural network in its brain. So last Sudha Live, I showed you that, right? I showed you the TensorFlow playground to understand how a neural network works and how what are parameters. And it's the same thing. The parameters is nothing but the weights and biases of a neural network that we're seeing in large language models. So the research for language and research for vision is coming together, because all the new generative AI models, so they are called large language models, LLM, they are actually become multimodal, which means that you can generate an image from there. Again, in the last week Sudha Live, I showed you that I could talk to Bard and say, and it has integrated Imagen as a model for image generation. And we did this generate three owls and generate draw me a donkey, and it did that. Remember that exercise we did? That is all multimodal. So that is why it's important, if you come from a vision world or if you come from a language world and you say, I have text data, I'm used to dealing with text, or I'm actually dealing with language, or I look at things in a very visual sense and I deal with cameras and data from cameras. Think about it. When you see any of these jobs, don't literally think, I'm not a vision engineer or I'm not a language engineer, but how this is coming together, and there is a role for you. So what is your piece in there, right? uh, uh, the third thing I have here, I have a short link here. Oh, this is uh, uh, from Sergio Lomeli Flores at Amazon. And they also have, there's a lot of this week I saw a lot of these jobs are for postdoc or researchers, a lot of student ones also. So, and they're competing in some way to get the talent right from universities. So they have this new this is not the typical developer internship that calls happened towards the end of last year and early this year. This is for a new summer internship on applied science, and it's in Canada. PhD student science recruiting, they call it. So you need to be enrolled in a PhD program. um, that's it. I'm going to reject all of this. I don't want these cookies from Amazon Jobs. Okay, so you get the idea. They also have the same thing for master students and whatnot. So there's a bunch of student focused recruiting that Amazon is doing. So go check it out, guys. Then I found a bunch of postdoc research. So the interesting with postdoc is after you finish your PhD, right? And you're still, you're a brilliant researcher. So there is one from Professor Virginia Dignam. I'm a huge fan of Professor Dignam's work, and she actually drives AI policy. She is a force to reckon with. Hold on, let me check here. Again, I'm sharing my screen. This is the post shared by Professor Dignam. So she basically says there are two open postdoc positions affiliated with the AI Policy Lab at Umia University. 29 Feb is the deadline. There are one is a both are 3-year ones. And the good thing is, again, the thing I'm seeing a lot in the job space is they are hiring developers, machine learning engineers, but a lot of the jobs that I'm seeing is on responsible AI. So this one is on responsible AI with focus on justice. And this is the second one is responsible AI with focus on transparency. And for my students, especially from Barcelona, where I've been teaching AI ethics to all the different masters, we've been talking about AI ethics, transparency, which is explainability, and fairness, which is reducing bias, and privacy preserving, GDPR, and all that stuff. So all that is actually where the jobs are, because the companies want to build stuff. So they're not just saying, okay, we're creating new models and innovating. If it has to reach customers and do something meaningful, it has to be responsible AI. And there's so much regulation coming in that they have to comply with. Otherwise they're going to have huge fines, even if it is not thought with a well-meant ethical lens. So they're looking for responsible AI in various forms. So understanding explainability, fairness metrics, and reducing bias and privacy preserving systems is the crux of it. So that's the other postdoc one. Let me tell you, I've got two more postdoc ones. um, I think this one is also from Netherlands. This is on system design and governance for AI system at TU Delft. Technology policy and management. So for those of you, especially at Weekly Wed, right, we have a bunch of people coming in and saying, okay, where are our jobs? We are just not engineers, right? So this Royal Dobby is the hiring manager, and it's part of the hybrid intelligence center. I'm very curious, what is the hybrid intelligence center? So I'm going to go. Oh, I'm sorry. Yeah, I'm not sharing. Sorry, guys. Sorry, guys. Sorry, guys. Here. Um, So here is the hiring manager, Royal Dobby, and postdoc in the at TU Delft, right? And it's part of the Hybrid Intelligence Center. So I'm curious about what is Hybrid Intelligence Center. So one of the things when I share jobs is I also check it out to see what is the organization, who is the hiring manager, because I think once you have worked anywhere, you know that who you work with, who's your boss, and the team and the culture is very, very important for you to get the job and for you to feel happy when you get into the job. So that's why I kind of do a little bit of vetting. So these are amazing people that I would love to work with them. So I'm very comfortable sending you that, being their spokes agent to tell you to go work with them. And then there is the accelerated AI algorithms for data discovery. Um, it's called A3D3, like R2D2. That's cool. So this institute is funded by the NSF by an NSF grant under harnessing the Data Revolution HDR program. and they are looking for research fellows. I don't think they are looking for postdocs, so research fellows in an interdisciplinary team, and they want scientists, engineers, and variety of different scientists, right? People. So this is the application side of AI in physics, astrophysics, biology, and neuroscience at the University of Washington. And here is the job link. Yes, guys, I know I'm not sharing. Hold on. Um, Let me go share that screen. University of Washington. You get to work at A3D3. Cool name. Okay, so this is what this is: accelerated AI algorithms for data driven discovery. It's such a cool name, such a cool name. Okay, so that's the other job I've got for you. Uh, there's also some UX UI design intern in Barcelona at NACAR Design, and the hiring manager is Camila Ruibal. I'll share that also with you. And I had told you about how there is, there was a fake voice of Professor, there was a fake voice in the New Hampshire primary of President Biden. And then FCC investigated that and they found who's the company and all that stuff. But it was fake voice, right? So, we've been hearing about this fake voice and fake videos, whatnot. And there is a fun one coming with applying the same technology. It is called Lincoln is returning to give the speech on Feb 14th. So it is called End the Exception. Okay, I'm sharing the screen now. Hold on. So it is called End the Exception. So it is so stupid that in the 13th Amendment to the U.S. Constitution, which abolished slavery, uh, that they have something called that even today, right, 150 years uh, later, there is a clause to allow slavery indirectly, right? It allow involuntary servitude to be used as punishment for crime. And so we have a lot of people incarcerated, and so there is a movement to abolish this clause from our constitution in US. It's 150 years old. So who else can come and ask us to do it better than Abraham Lincoln? So we have this movement called End the Exception, and Abraham Lincoln is going to come talk to us. So obviously, Lincoln is going to come as a fake image, fake voice, but to do good. And there's this hash End the Exception movement going on, and that is also on Instagram. So I think on Instagram, if you follow the End the Exception, um, that's the Insta handle, you will be able to see Lincoln live. And I believe it's on Feb 14th on Valentine's Day. Lincoln has decided to come back and talk to us on Valentine's Day. What fun. Okay, so there's a bunch of other things in the whole deep fake world. Facebook and they basically said on Facebook and Instagram, when something is made as a deep fake, they will say made by AI. So that you would know if at all you're going to look through the fine prints there. There's a bunch of watermarking. I think DALI 3 has introduced watermarking. There is audio watermarking that I mentioned about a couple weeks back. So there is a movement. This End exception is going to use this in a good way. Everywhere else they're saying we're going to give you like a disclaimer. That's kind of in the works. And then there's a bunch of stuff happening in the language world. There's a Tamil Lama that got launched, a whole bunch of things. So I'm just going to skip through that and share the big one, Gemini. What is Gemini? So Gemini is to especially to people who heard me speak at Google Dev Fest in San Jose. I had shown the Gemini demo and we had a fun discussion. And one thing that stuck me in there was the promise that it can have spatial understanding. So this example I was telling you, when we had the floods and the map was showing where the floods are, levels are, it's very 2D, right? I see the map and it says San Jose on this street or that street, and it's showing the flood level of the creek. But you can do a lot more visualization, especially in this new world of the VR glasses and the goggles and whatnot. There is a lot going on in 3D imagery. And even like, when you're thinking the autonomous vehicle is seeing the road, or yeah, or cameras watching the Super Bowl and seeing how the players are playing, all of that, when we have Super Bowl coming up this Sunday, uh, all of that is actually 3D imagery, and it is all using CNN or some kind of neural network in some form, but with a spatial sense, right? So if the AI can understand spatial, that's a big deal, right? That will bring us closer to real world. So that's the promise from Gemini. They had done a demo there that was just a made up demo, but Gemini has launched a version called Gemini Nano, and I've been showing Bard, right? Last week I showed you Bard and said draw the three owls and donkey, right? And now Bard has renamed and is called Gemini. So the easiest way to get it is go to your app and just download Gemini. Or I believe if you are also a paid customer in any form, right, where you get, let me look at that. Let me find that exact wording of what they are saying. Um, where is it? Where is it, guys? Okay, so if like I have a Google One Premium account that gives me 2 terabyte of storage, right? The amount of videos I do need that storage, guys. So what they've said is if you're already part of the Google One Premium plan for storage, you will get this Gemini Ultra. You can download Gemini in the app and play with it. If you want the paid version, so remember when you use um, Playground and want to build something with GPT, they have like a $20 per month plan. So with the Gemini being comparable to GPT-4, what Google has come up with is they've said, okay, we have a paid plan. I'm going to show you this. You can read for yourself. Come on, I had a window open. So I'm going to share this from MIT Tech Review. Um, and so it's basically saying if I go to bard.google.com, it changes to Gemini. I can download Gemini, I can play with it. But they're also launching a advanced version, and they're calling it Gemini Advanced. And it comes bundled in a subscription, same 20 bucks or 19.99, that the company is calling the Google One Premium AI plans. Remember, we had the Google One Premium for storage, Google One for storage. Now it's a Google One Premium AI plan. So it is the existing Google One, which gives me 2 terabyte of storage, but also access to the most powerful Gemini Ultra model for the first time, right? And it's going to compete with the OpenAI offering. So for those of you who are saying, how does it compare? I saw that the first thing people are asking is, how does it compare to um, ChatGPT, which is they're asking about GPT-4. So if you go to Hugging Face, there is actually live comparison on the performance and capabilities and all that stuff. I don't think the spatial capability exists in GPT-4 yet, but you can play with this, and then like you're getting your Playground and GPT access, you can access to Google Cloud and directly play with this. But I'm going to show you a very simple consumer view of what I was doing with Bard last time. So I got a mail saying, okay, Bard is now called Gemini. I said, okay, let me go take a look at that. And I'm going to bring it to you guys. So as soon as I click that, hold on. Yeah, I'm not sharing. I have two windows. I'm trying to open the right window, guys. Okay. So it says Bard is now Gemini. Okay, the best way to get direct access to Google AI. Okay, so I'm done with that. So then if I go to bar.google.com, also it changes to gemini.google.com, and then it does the usual chatting and whatnot. So I'm not going to do that. What I'm going to do is this week at Weekly Wed, we had a brilliant speaker. Weekly Wed is our weekly speaker series. We have a speaker. I'm going to first show you that window. Okay, so um, so we had a speaker. His name is Kenneth Chuku, uh, and he spoke about recommender system. He did a fantastic job. That's not a flattering picture. I'm going to move out of that. So Yashashwini Vishwanath, Yash, who hosts Weekly Wednesday, has done a thesis in her master's on AI on recommender systems. So they had such a fun conversation. And one of the things I do when I see amazing work is I try to go share it on LinkedIn for you to see, right? So what I ended up doing was exactly that. But what if I could, you miss this and you say, I want to see this. What if we could do is we could just take the URL of this. Now I'm going to go to my Gemini window and I'm going to make Gemini summarize this for me. That's the promise, right? I keep telling you guys there's tons of material I have on various places for you, right? On my YouTube under a different list. So I'm going to say, can you see this window? Can you summarize this video for me? And I'm going to give this. No, 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 no. I didn't get the URL. It is showing the LinkedIn URL. So let me go find the URL of this video. Right? Where is my window, guys? I lost the window. Gemini window. Okay, you see me here? Yeah. Okay, thank you. So basically, I'm giving the URL, and this is Kennechuku's beautiful Kennechuku's recommender system talk with Yash at WeeklyWed. And I'm going to say, can you summarize this video for me? So zoop, 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 zoop. It's thinking, 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 working, working, working. Sure, here's a summary. It called the speaker as cuckoo because it cannot pronounce a Nigerian name. There's a bias and responsible AI team in Gemini's team needs to fix this. He's a machine learning engineer with experience in recommender systems, and he covers at least he's calling him a he, because Zoom, when it does the when the summary, sometimes it calls people all men or all women. It doesn't know a world of multiple genders. So in this talk, he covers a variety of topics related to recommender system, including basic of recommender systems, including content-based and collaborative, how it can be used to address filter bubbles and echo chambers. Those are brilliant questions that Yash asked. The role of LLMs in recommender system. This is the piece I was so ecstatic to hear about. So this, you're going to hear a lot more from me on that, because I'm going to learn that more and poke around and see how recommender systems. I worked in eBay in the past, guys. And so I know the old world of recommender systems pre LLM. So how does it come back when? And last week I was talking about how Amazon has launched Rufus. I still don't have access for Rufus chatbot on my Amazon app, but they're rolling it out on the app. So if Amazon says you can talk to my chatbot and look for product recommendations, it's actually built years of recommender systems. So they're going to integrate that recommender systems to the LLM. How are they doing? That piece is interesting. So Keneshiku had a discussion on that. And then the challenge of deploying in production, right? That he was talking about latency and that, right? So this is the key takeaways, and this is beautiful. So, and again, when you build chatbots, you want to make sure that you give feedback because it is correct. Okay. That's it. So that is an example of Bard for you. So, okay, I see some comments. I want to see what you're saying. Okay, somebody celebrated. Thank you, Alina. I appreciate that. So it keeps me going, guys. You have to tell me what you're seeing if you like it. But if you have questions, do you work with recommender system? Is that exciting for you? Do you work with LLMs? Do you want to see how LLMs and recommender systems are coming together? Do you share my excitement on that? Because that's something I'm going to work on, right? Or you have questions. It could be something else. I was actually thinking, instead of recommender systems, what about the old computer vision systems? That's how I found out they were not computer vision systems. They were CNN or some kind of vision done by algorithms, right? It is not just computer vision algorithms, it is done by neural networks. So there is the whole traditional AI and the new generative AI. They are coming together. They are not going to lose all the learning and work put in, the cost and energy and bandwidth and brain power put in to build those old systems. Now when they connect with generative AI and we have this human centered interface, we talk with it, how is it going to be integrated is very, 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 very fascinating for me. So We are going to figure that out together. And then so the other thing is, I share a lot of events. So I have a bunch of events that is happening. I think today was Irene Cheng's WAI symposium, Dr. Brenna Clark's Feminist and Accessible Publishing Communications is on the 13th. There's a creative vision tour from Adobe San Francisco that is on the 15th. And then I found out that Google Research and Microsoft CEO both went to India, specifically to Bangalore this week. They're doing a tour, and they're trying to woo in developers who are actively working in open source, to hire researchers, to get developers to adopt. So the typical developer network event that they're doing in big scale, I've not seen that for a while. I've been part of developer network from the PayPal world in the past, in my past, and I used to run a bunch of meetups in social Facebook and Twitter, and that kind of meetups in the past. So the developer, and run hackathons and dev camps and all that. So the hackathon energy and the creativity of developers becoming entrepreneurs is amazing. And now we have that energy in open source world. So they're kind of vying for what platform will they use. So it was very fascinating. I had a bunch of people who attended that, and there were a lot of sessions and stuff. So I hope they put them online for us to read and access and stuff. Some of them I know. The Tamil Lama launch that they did was Abhinaya Mahendran from Global South in AI was speaking. So that is live. So I'll share those. But I attended one other session. So one of the things I do is I give you a lot of events, and then I might attend some of them. So when I attend something, if it is online, I would like to come and post online. Even if it is not online, if I'm sitting, typically I tend to live blog for the most part, where possible. So there was one event that I had shared with you guys. Let me find that from Professor Tom Mitchell. This happened in the Stanford Digital Economy Lab. I'm going to pull that up. And I'm just going to pull my link on the summary I did, and then you can add to it or comment or find it useful, whatever. Okay, doesn't matter. But I want to give you the summary because that video will be shared only with those people who signed up for the Zoom link, I believe, right? So what is interesting is Professor Tom Mitchell is the first professor to have created a machine learning department in a university. That's how he got started, to educate everybody into machine learning, right? And today I was talking to somebody, and I heard that there are new generative AI courses being launched at universities, and so not surprising. So Tom Mitchell was talking to us about trends. I thought it was named as 4 trends, but he actually covered 5 trends. So the big one was AI use for climate AI. I was telling you about all the data and stuff we got with our bad weather in California, so it's not a surprise. And then the second thing was, he was talking about, the whole variety of different LLMs and natural language models that is out there. And he was talking about what is going to be the future programming language. Everything is done with Python today. What is going to be the business model? That's $1 billion question. All of you here are the ones who are going to figure that out. And then another interesting thing he was talking about is personal LLMs. And he did a BARD summarization, which is now Gemini. And you can actually get a summarization of your own email, and a lot of good discussion about privacy. And what I showed you when we were talking to Gemini, and it gave the summary, and I did the thumbs up, is I gave feedback, right? So there is a whole technique called reinforcement based human feedback, RFHF, about how to build chatbots. So building chatbots is not just about calling an API and throwing some tech and saying, oh, we heard customer talk to us. When the customer talks, are we getting feedback from the customer? Is the customer happy? What is the sentiment of the customer? How does this data of the customer's interaction tie back to our existing systems out there? And how is it training the AI, training us, and all that stuff, right? So it's very interesting. So that's the number 3 is personal LLM, and number 4 is multimodal LLM. What I was telling you about spatial and vision and all that combined, right? Voice, everything in the same thing. Um, So the it should, I heard one example of the AI watching me assemble a furniture from IKEA, and it should go past the work and speak, right, to speak to, or speak to us. I want it to do more than that. And that interaction in theory is very good, but I think it is calling for our imagination on how will we utilize this. If the AI can watch us visually, right? If the AI can visually see me, like I have cameras outside our house, and it's monitoring for thieves, bad guys, right? It will watch anybody who even comes to my house because I give it permission. But and in a manufacturing setting, there are cameras watching the assembly line to catch for quality control. There is cameras. I've written about cameras many years, and I have a LinkedIn learning course called AI in connected products, AIoT. And that's focused a lot on cameras and voice assistants, mostly on cameras, because I love the idea of the data you get from cameras and what kind of use cases you can develop and how what kind of AI you can build from that. So if you want, you can go check it out. I'll put that in the link later, guys. It is a no code course, yes, and with hands on exercise like others. But the idea is, if the camera is watching us, we are still thinking it is watching, generating images or video feeds. It is being sent somewhere to do some kind of CNN or machine learning or something, looking for patterns and anomalies and things like that, right? But the idea of this LLM being multimodal, which means it has vision capability, it has to have some camera device watching, only then it can get the data. But it is, if it is watching live, and if it is able to understand the 3D aspect of our life, not just a camera like in a 2D, right? Then what can it do? That is it's not. And another example I heard was, instead of giving us recipes for cooking, it is watching me cook and say, oh, you forgot the salt, or this goes next. I don't want a companion LLM which is talking to me and telling me to do stuff all the time. I don't want it to tell me to do stuff. Like if you think about the voice assistant, I ask Alexa, and if I mention the name, it will pop up and talk to you right now. The other voice assistant that I have in my house, uh, I get them to do things. I get them to fetch things from the internet, search this and what's the temperature, and find this song and play this song and things like that, right? It's doing stuff for me. So when we are thinking spatial, you cannot flip that now and say the LLM will tell you, oh, add that particular screw and you're fixing your when you're building your furniture. Or and the building the IKEA furniture is a very Western world view of a use case. What would that use case be if the AI can watch me spatially? This, and I spoke to a group this week about helping women farmers. Just like every other bias, it's women farmers instead of farmers, because most of the farmers are men, at least in theory, and in documented theory. And I think farmer families work together in the field. And so these women farmers, when they're affected by their own problems, there's a nonprofit which is trying to use AI, and I was talking to them. And what would such a spatial AI do for them? It's not going. They don't have time to sit and assemble furniture and want an AI, you know, talking to them. So that's the idea. But when I share these things, I hope you share my excitement for the technology, but more than that, you share the possibilities of what you could do with that, what you could do, which I cannot do. Right? I would do what I can do in my world and my reality. Right? So think about that. So the premise is, Gemini Nano is available at the same $20 rate, or for free. You can play with it and try with it on the app, like I was showing you. But if you want to be a developer and build something, it's going to be the same $20 like ChatGPT on the playground, and you're going to be able to build stuff. Now, when you build stuff, what is it you're going to build? Now, when it has spatial sense, that now is new to AI, and it brings this vision capability combined with language capability. What are you going to do about it? What kind of problems can you solve for real, in a very responsible way, so that it's meaningful? I don't want the AI to tell me how to cook. I want the AI to do something that's much more useful for the world. Okay. So that's the, I think I covered only four of them from Tom Mitchell's. Let me see, those of you who are here, I want to see whether you have a comment. And where's my LinkedIn screen? Okay. So tell me, guys, if you agree, disagree, feel excited. Are you excited about the spatial AI? Would you like the AI to give you IKEA furniture advice? Is that acceptable to you? It's all right. There's no right or wrong answer. So tell me what you like. That's fine. Because each of us, that's the beauty of AI, right? Each of us are going to bring our reality of what we want to do, what we want the world to be, and AI is just a tool in our hands, right? Okay, so I'm just trying to close the extra windows so I can get you back to the Tom Mitchell window. So that was personal AI, was personal LLM was number three. I Where did I leave it at four? Right, at multimodal LLM, and um, then the fifth trend was the big one, open source. Right, there's a lot many small LLMs, which are small models, that is coming from open source. And so that is fantastic. And then, there's a lot of, because it's open source and available, a lot more creative developers from around the world are building on it. At least I'm seeing it in the language world. There's a lot more happening with Mistral 7B, and the Llama 7B. There's a lot of llamas out there. I don't know whether I can get to it in a timely fashion, but there was a very interesting post from Abhinaya Mahendran, who is she's a researcher, who contributed to building the Tamil LLM, right? She's come and spoken about it. So let me. I'm just going to do this live and share her screen because I found something very funny. I showed you good art last time, right? But I'm going to show you something very funny. So this is Abhinaya Mahendran. If you're into the open source community and LLM, you should follow her. So there was a conference called Kani Tamil 24, and she spoke there. And she had actually shared, let me see, the llama one. This is where I think I saw the llama one when she was talking about this. Uh, no, I'm not talking about this particular conference, guys. Um, about her work on Tamil Lama. There was a very funny uh, video of the Lama to show the Tamil Lama. Let me show you that. It's very funny. It was very, very creative. Bear with me. Okay, there's a lot of stuff. Oh my God. There's a lot of stuff she's sharing. Okay. Um, I can't get to it. I'll have to find it for you. So basically, uh, they had a cute picture of Lama. That's what I was going for. That's all right. Okay. I can't find it, guys. So they had the Tamil Lama, and then Tamil is a language that is part of the one group of language under the Dravidian languages. So there is. So as soon as they launched Tamil Lama, they were able to use that open source, and they were going to build. They were able to launch a related language, also spoken in a nearby state in India called Telugu Lama. There was another one called Malayalam Lama. So they showed the three llamas like dressed up. It was very cute, creative. Anyway, so I will find that for you, and I will share that in the newsletter for you. And then the last thing I want to show you, and there's a bunch of calls. I showed you that there is an AI for good canvas of the future. That AI for good was collaborating with Shutterstock, and that is actually live officially. I had shared they did an announcement. Now what they've done is that you can sign up for it, and they found judges for this contest, the timeline and all that stuff. So they launched it, and then now they are kind of in the evaluation. So this is what is going on in AI for good. right? So a bunch of those things are there. UNESCO has a call for proposal for AI in generative AI in education. I told you about this. Center for AI and Digital Policy has a call for awards, people working in Gen AI space. And then there is building a just AI ecosystem in Africa. RIA is Just AI project. So that there is time. March 8th is the call for paper. There's a bunch of it. But one thing, interesting thing I'm going to show you, and then I'm going to leave. Um, Hold on for a minute. And yes, I will be back to my regular 6 o'clock time. We'll have our weekly Wednesday at 8 o'clock my time here, 17 hour in Europe and Nigeria, are usual. And 6 p.m. my time is when we do the Sudha live. So I'll be back to that time. Any other question do you guys have? Because you're there and you're celebrating and cheering and all is wonderful, but I would like you to talk to me. Um, Emojis don't communicate the same. They make me happy that you're here still and you're liking it, and I see that. But I would like to hear from you. If you have questions, comments, if you share the excitement or you disagree, anything is fine. I would love to hear from you. Okay, so the last thing I'm going to show you is the hallucinations leaderboard. Cool name, isn't it? It is. Okay. So the big ethical challenge in generative AI is it makes things up, it hallucinates. So where it doesn't have information, if you ask it things, it'll continue to talk in beautiful, flowery English and tell you stuff that doesn't exist for real. So Tom Mitchell, Professor Tom Mitchell, gave a very good example. He was asking about something that he has not done, and one of the LLMs responded back and gave a very nice sounding language, yeah, in a very believable way. It made up a paper that he has published, which he's not published, and it hallucinated. So there's a lot. Every model hallucinates. So how do you know which is good, which is bad? So Edinburgh International Data Facility, EIDF, has created this, and you can actually submit more models, and they come up with what the benchmark criteria should be. So if you want, you can submit your own model, or you can submit any of the models that you want to test, you want to use it, see how whether you can do that, right? And so they're basically saying, what is it that it includes a variety of different tasks. So how do you do a leaderboard to compare them, right? So what they did is they did a closed book open domain Q&A. The summarization, like I was telling you, when it is doing reading comprehension or just following instructions, all of those, they basically created some benchmark, and you can see what the hallucination benchmark is based on what you want to check. And then they actually they compare all the different models, and they created a leaderboard. So if you want to see, the Llama 2 7B1, right, how does that fare compared to something else you might be looking at, right? So that's what they're doing, and you can actually add your own model to this also. I mean, there's a lot of different dashboards that's now in the open source world, so that makes life easy. And that's one of the questions that people in enterprise asks: what model should I choose? And you can actually go to one of these benchmarks and compare how it is performing. For your use case, you can actually use the benchmark to see the hallucination. You want to pick the one which does less hallucination for the kind of data that you have, for the kind of application capabilities that you're building out for, before you send it out to the customers, and it kind of makes things up. Okay, so we spoke about jobs. AI is not yet replacing jobs, but there are layoffs and there are new jobs. So look at what it is, and now you are, this is a good time for you. Things shifting, new models coming in, new call for responsible AI. This is a good time for you to learn. And so I would highly recommend. Yeah, I did promise the AIoT course. I will post that, guys. Now is also a good time to learn LLM. So I have a 4-hour course called Jam. Let me find that. bit.ly/jamte LLM course. So with the webinars I've done in recent times on Business School of AI, we put together a course. I'm going to show that to you. Yes, this is bit.ly/jamte LLM course, and you can sign up and take the course and you get a certificate, but you also learn about LLMs in and out, in and out. It's not a coding course, it's a no code course. So I would highly recommend that as a starting point for learning LLMs. And I'm going to find the AIoT course that I told you about. I just went to Google and said Sudha Jamte and AIoT, AI in connected products, and it found it for me. So I'm very pleased. It's, one second. If Google can find it, I think that's the easiest way to find it. So I think, nope, that's not the window. So I'm going to share the AIoT course and then I can go home, right? Okay. So I just did a Google search and said Sudha Jamte and AIoT. If you can spell my name properly and get AIoT, you will get to the AIoT course. I'm going to go through my personal account.
Can you build AI models with no coding? Yes, you can. In this course, I'm going to teach you to build AI from IoT data with no code AI, absolutely with zero code. I am Sudha Jamte. I'm a technology futurist and author of 7 books on.
Okay, I'm going to stop that. In my own live stream, I should not be introducing myself again. So that's where I'll stop this. Okay, thank you everybody for hanging around with me. I will put all these links, a couple of them here on the chat. And let me just check one last time whether anybody has a comment, question, cheer. Now is a good time for you to celebrate, guys, if you want to do that. Thank you everybody for hanging around with me. I appreciate that. And I will share all the jobs that I shared and all the links, and they will be up in the Jamte newsletter. And I will see you all next week. So enjoy the weekend and happy Chinese New Year, Vietnamese New Year, whatever New Year you're celebrating this week. My wishes to you. And we will see you next week. And stay safe. Have fun. Bye.